What you just said about Robin Ollis, who is sitting here with me, she has literally bridged the gap all over Avery County. And she said moments ago, she is the self-proclaimed crazy horse lady of Avery County, who now became the bridge lady of Avery County. She owns Elk Mountain Riding Company. We're going to talk about that business in just a second. But first of all, it is a pleasure to have you here this morning.
Thank you. It is great to be here on this cold, windy day.
I'm like, where's your jacket, young lady? She goes, hey, you know, I'm a mountain person. This is what we do. This is perfect for us up here. Listen, I want to go back. First of all, raise your hand if you had a lot of knowledge about bridges before Hurricane Helene. Go ahead and raise your hand.
I can't.
You had nothing.
I had
you
nothing.
knew nothing about bridges before this hurricane came through and destroyed everything.
Exactly.
What in the world set you on a path to educate yourself about bridges?
Well, I could see people were driving through the river. It just was a huge loss to see these bridges that were gone. It was devastating, you know, at least to look out there and see, holy crap, there are houses gone, there are bridges gone. I saw houses, I saw bridges, and I thought, there is no one here helping people get these bridges back.
And you were just telling me, because you can't really plan for such a big storm, you guys couldn't call 911. You had no internet, you had no power, no water. You had literally nothing. You are cut off. And here we are in 2024 when this happened, in what probably felt like a third world country.
It did.
So where did the decision to go, I'm going to create a Facebook page called Bridges for Avery County? Where was the foresight into, maybe I can help corral and help organize the help that is pouring into our county?
Yeah, absolutely. I saw early on that there was a need. There were volunteers that were coming in from all over the county. I would go to our local fire department in our area on 19E, which is Frank Fire Department, and see just this influx of volunteers and incredible people wanting to come and help our victims in any way that they could. And we weren't organized at that time because it was craziness.
Yeah.
But I saw a need right away that we needed to have a place where people could communicate, where we could connect the victims with the resources.
And listen, the need is great. We're looking at some of the there's some of the donations that came in initially right when this started, and you got 40 to 50 bridges that were out, almost 100 culverts throughout Avery County, almost 100 driveways. You know, not all bridges. You can see some of the repairs that are happening right there. You know, not all of these are you know, the expensive NCDOT concrete public bridges. You got hundreds of these private little foot bridges. What does that make a person feel like when they're stuck and stranded? Like, what's that feel like?
Absolutely. And I met with all the families, and I think that's where my heart just was pulled to say, I've got to help these people. And so many of them at that time were driving through a river. Every time we got a rain, they couldn't drive through the river. I can't imagine having young children and driving through a raging river and being concerned for their safety and getting across. So I did start asking for help with footbridges. Some footbridges had gone up initially. Volunteers had come in and pulled debris out of the river and just put something across for people to temporarily get through. The first big rain that came, it washed them all away. So I knew we needed to come up with something that was a more permanent solution for these folks until we could get their driving bridges built.
Robin, did you ever think that you would see the day that you and a handful of people stood along the highway and cheered on an 18-wheeler that was literally bringing up a rail car private bridge, the first one that was delivered to Avery County? You guys are standing there as it rounded the corner. Did you ever think you'd see the day?
Never. That's the most incredible thing. And it was the most incredible feeling. And we had children there, and even they were cheering. And it just was a happy time for everyone to see that coming in. And we look forward to more of that. We're going to be there to rally everyone that comes in here.
I want to pivot real fast because you're also a small business owner. Before this happened, that was your livelihood. It still is, the Elk Mountain Riding Company. I want to show some pictures from this business because I want to encourage you that are watching to bring your families up here this spring and summer for trail rides. You're going to see the prettiest parts of western North Carolina from the back of a horse. I can't even imagine. But have you been able to ride? Have you ridden since the storm?
We have started riding again. We are reopened.
Have you ridden, Robin?
I have ridden 2 times since the storm because it's just been hard for me to get my heart into it. I feel so guilty.
Do you really?
I do. I feel guilty. So maybe I shouldn't, but I do. I feel guilty because my heart just still hurts for all these people. So once I feel better about that, maybe I can get my heart back to doing what I love.
Well, you are doing what you love, first of all.
I am.
You're helping people
And what
because
I'm called to do.
you're being called to do that, but you're also a small business owner, and it's okay for you to saddle up because you've got to get your business going again.
That's
and
right.
you have a chance to show people what Mother Nature, what God has created in this part of North Carolina. So don't be afraid to get back on that horse. Thank you for what you're doing.
Yes,
Along with Elk River Helping Hands, they have been fantastic. They're earmarking a lot of these funds for these bridges, and there's a lot of help. We just scratched the surface of what's going on up here. Robin, thank you for what you're doing. Bridges
Yes,
of Avery
sir.
County. We love you guys.
Thank you.
We're
We
going to
love
be
you.
back. Okay, and I'm going to
Okay.
get on one of those horses,
Okay.
like I'm in the Wild Wild West.
I look forward to it.
And I can't wait to see how beautiful the rest of this county is. Thanks for sharing your story
Yes, sir.
and
Thank
your heart
you.
with us. Appreciate that.